Hi, this is Heidi Hudson, the dog reporter. I'm at Crufts 2009, and I have found this fantastic new charity I've been waiting to meet, and it's so great that you're here at Crufts.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming along to see us.
You are Pen, and I understand that you wrote this book, and you are here supporting a wonderful and new dog charity.
Yeah, the dog charity is called Nowzad Dogs, and it was formed from when I was in Afghanistan nearly 2 years ago now. And I befriended this little dog here, I should say. She sort of befriended me. Oh, this is young Tally, and I'll just stick her down. And Tally, actually, she crawled under the gate where we were in the compound in the town of Nowzad, dragging her puppies in one at a time. So she'd bring a puppy in, drop the puppy off, crawl back under the gate, and the gate was only about that much of a gap underneath it, and then she'd come back in. She did that 6 times. So when obviously she was then sat there with her puppies, yeah, there's nothing we could do but obviously start to look after her. And when our time came to leave Afghanistan and come back to the UK, we couldn't leave her behind, so we then made an attempt to rescue her, to get her out of Afghanistan and back to the UK.
And how difficult was it to get her from Afghanistan back to the UK?
We couldn't use any military support, so it all had to be using local Afghanis and a little bit of imagination to actually get them smuggled through, obviously, Taliban territory, all the way to obviously the border, so we could then get them flown back to the UK, and then obviously 6 months of quarantine. But the charity from there, that was all done before the charity was formed, and as soon as we'd done it once, lots of soldiers then said to us, well, we're actually looking after a dog, how do we do it? And so that's how the charity started.
And how many soldiers are involved with the charity?
Currently at the moment we've got about 10 different rescues that are ongoing, and it's not just British soldiers, we've got Americans, Canadians, we've even got a Dutch Marine who's rescued a dog, and obviously the military doesn't support us because obviously there's a no mascot rule. For obvious reasons, there's a lot of disease out there, and it does detract a little bit from obviously the job they're trying to do. But in some places, the soldiers don't have a lot to do themselves, so they're sat around, and the dogs take a little bit of the pressure away from them just by sitting there and helping the dog out.
There, you got Tally, and I see another dog here. What's the other dog?
I'll just grab hold of the other dog to share it. Come here, little buddy. This is actually little Helmand. And little Helmand's actually on the front cover of the book. He's the puppy on the right hand side of the book, and he's actually one of Tally's puppies.
Oh.
And he's the only one out of the whole litter who actually survived. The rest was struck down with the parvovirus because obviously there's a lot of disease in Afghanistan. Come on in, fella, get down. There you go.
Now, are both of these dogs now homed by yourself?
This little fellow actually lives on a farm down in the West Country, but I have Tally, the little white one. I've also got this one behind you, which is Nowzad, and he was a dog that we broke up a dog fight, and Nowzad has been used, and he then adopted me after that. So we ended up looking after 5 adult dogs and 14 puppies.
And where did the name Nowzad come from?
Nowzad's the town that we were stationed in. It's in a very remote part of Afghanistan. It's just in the Helmand province by the mountains, just on the edge of the mountains. So Nowzad himself, the dog, was battered and bruised, obviously being in the dog fights. That's why we called him Nowzad, and that's where the charity's come from.
Now let's talk about your book. It's a brand new book, I believe. Yeah,
it's just been published on the 4th of February this year. And lots of people kept asking me about, how do you get the dogs out of Afghanistan? What's the story behind it? So we thought about it and said, well, maybe people would be interested to write the story down. And I'd kept a diary going while I'd been in Afghanistan, and it just happened from there, and we got a hold of a publisher. They liked the idea, and that's where the book's come from.
So how can people support your wonderful charity?
They can buy a copy of the book because there's a large percentage of the book profits are actually going back into the charity. They can go online. We have a website which is www.nowzaddogs.co.uk. And on there, there's lots of ways they can help by sending us stamps, making a donation, or just telling their friends about us and spreading the word. And hopefully we'll become a bigger charity.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much. It's such a wonderful story, and it's wonderful to meet you. I've heard about the book. Can't wait to read it. The dog reporter's going to pick up a copy now.
Fantastic.
And hopefully get you to sign it. So please support this wonderful charity.
Thank you very much for interviewing us.